Welcome to day 2. We're talking about John 1, verses 6 through 8. And today we want to focus in on the interpretation step of our framework. So, Ashrita, would you like to just share a little bit about what interpretation is? Remind
Sure.
us.
Well, observation is where we look at the text and say, what does it say? Interpretation is where we ask, what does it mean? And again, going back to last week where we talked about interpretation, this is where we want to take off our 21st century glasses and put on first century glasses. We try to understand for that audience, what did the writer intend? What would have come across for them? And there's really only one correct interpretation. And we were talking about this earlier.
Right, yeah.
We want to try to get to that interpretation.
We do. We definitely do. Just like yesterday, we were asking you to maybe observe some things about us, and it wasn't the time to guess our age. If you want to today, that's totally fine.
Let us know in the comments how old you think we are.
There is only one right answer to that question. Similar to this, we're trying to ascertain, what did John mean when he wrote this passage of Scripture? And what were those first century Jews hearing?
Yeah. So Carmen, could you tell us, as you're looking at this passage, what is one thing that you've observed, and maybe walk us through the interpretation stage?
Well, one thing I observed right off the bat were the two characters that are in this passage. We see God and John. And so I asked, okay, who is God? Who is John? And as I interpret that, it's pretty straightforward. You don't need anything special, really, to interpret that. You can look at the sentence and see there was a man sent from God, and his name was John. So pretty easy to interpret that John, okay, he was a man who was sent by God. What? To do what? To bear witness. And that, then we could go on and observe some other things and interpret those.
That's great. Well, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear what is one thing you've observed, and then interpret that one thing. Again, we're trying to get to what does it mean as we look at the original context, original audience, the original meaning. Can't wait to hear from you.
Yes.